Welcome. Here comes Jerusha. Welcome. All right. So today I want to dig into where everybody is. So I'm going to be asking you two questions. We're going to go back to what is your biggest note to self from this last week? Like note to self. I want to remember this later. And the second one is where are you? What are you looking to do this week? Moving forward, or where are you stuck somewhere? Where's a block? If there's something you want us to look at, if you want us to view your landing page, or you want to run through email nurturing sequence or listen to your one big message or something, let me know and we'll do that. So we're just going to kind of divide up I know I'm doing this a little bit different than normal, but we're going to kind of just divide up the time. So everyone has about 15 minutes to be able to get help with whatever it is they need. And during that 15 minutes, that's when we're going to kind of talk about what is your note to self, your moment of learning, and then what is it that you're working for and how can we best help you today? Most of you, since you are familiar enough with this process, we're just going to see how, what we can do to support you. There's not as much teaching that needs to be done right now because you guys are all familiar with how this works. So, all right. So does anyone want to start? Does anyone know, like right off, this is what I know I want to talk about. This is my learning today.
I can start.
Awesome, Michelle.
So my learning is focusing on reading scriptures is not enough if I forget to pray. Remember to pray. So
okay.
That's my note to self. Remember to pray. Last week I spent half of the week sick and I just didn't get anything done. So that's my goal, to come back to it again this week. But I don't know. I'm incredibly overwhelmed with the amount of things that I have to get done in 2.5 weeks before Dennis comes home. And so everything else might just be put on to hold as I paint my house this week. But I don't know. So That's my real struggle right now, is I just don't know how to get everything done that I have to do.
Okay. So does that help you to list out the things that you have to do? Or is that like, do you already have a list somewhere?
Usually, yes, I do have a list, and but right now I don't know, maybe you guys can help me with this. Right now I am experiencing major block.
I'm fine.
Some people call it in the author world writer's block, but it's not writer's block, because it's not like I'm sitting down and I'm trying to write and I don't know what to write. It's I have no desire to sit down and write. I have no desire to sit down and put together my letters. This is actually the biggest problem in getting things done, is maybe it's I don't know that it's perfectionism, because I'm okay with B+ efforts, but it's like what I feel like I have to give is it just takes so much out of me to come up with story branded and customer first and what are their needs. And it just feels like it just drags me down to try and have to put all of that together and write it in such a way that it is appealing. And I've got this recording that I've got to try and get done, but I didn't do anything with last week. The recording is done, but I need to edit it. So I just feel blocked I know everything that has to be done, but I feel blocked in being able to do it.
Okay. So let me just repeat and make sure that I understand what you're saying. So what I hear you saying is the block is coming from just feeling like it's so hard to do the story branding and the messaging the right way and putting it together and writing it all out, that it feels so hard that it's hard to even want to start. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Well, and then to combine with that, I'm behind on activities for the ANWA Writers Conference, and I've got things I need to be doing for the Liahona magazine for the service mission I'm doing, and I've got the house that I've got to get ready, and I've got the book that I've got to finish, and I've got the newsletter and the story brand and the Foundation 5 things, and I have a missionary coming home in 2 weeks, and he has no place to stay because there is no bedroom for him, because the bedroom is a storage room and the house needs painted. We have sheetrock up at least. So anyway, I am overwhelmed with everything I have to do, that I just get paralyzed. That's my real big problem. And then I was sick for half the week last week, which doesn't help.
Which doesn't help. How many of you guys have felt like that, paralyzed, because you just feel like it's so big, like Jess, yeah, Angie, Drusha. So what are strategies that the rest of you have used to work through that being paralyzed?
I make a list, first of all, of everything that's in my head that I have to do, because it's so much more effective if it's not swirling around in my brain and I can just get it down on paper. Then I don't have to have that mental, constant, oh, I've got to do this and this and this and this. And it's just, it drives you crazy. So getting it down on paper, it makes it so that I can see it. I don't have to think about it anymore. And then I can start to prioritize and say, what do I need to do right now? What can wait until tomorrow or the next week or whatever? I can put little numbers by stuff, or however it works for you to prioritize, so that you're not thinking I have to do it all today, right now, and get it done. And then also, of course, it's helpful to be able to say, okay, this is my number one priority today, right now. So what can I do for 15 minutes? Or I will only do this much, and you decide what this much is. And then I'll quit. Well, usually, and not always, but usually when you get going on just this much, you find like, oh, I could do a little more, and I could do a little more. And then before you know it, that task is completed. But either way, you can tell yourself, you kind of give yourself that break of, if I just get like 15 minutes of my audio recordings edited, I can quit if I want. And you give yourself that permission, and it's okay. And
So
then,
good.
and
I love these
keep
tactics.
keep going, edit more, fine.
I've used them so much in the past that you're just reminding me of what works.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like these are so good, Jerusha. I know last week,
those are just some thoughts.
That last week, feeling that overwhelm, I did that where I just listed everything, and there was a ton on there, and I would just take a little block or whatever it was that I felt was the most important thing, and I would just on Tuesday, I was just going to do those things and move them up, because I just think this is part of running a business, is that we are always going to have a lot more to do than we feel like we can do, and it's always going to be skimming the cream off the top, and that's it. Like, we're taking the most important part, we're leaving the remainder. And when it comes time that it's those remainder things have to get done, we'll find a way. We're good at finding a way when it comes down to like that last minute. Like, I'm sure that when your son comes home from the airport, even if it was the night before that you put together his room, you're going to find a way to get it done, right? Like, we know how to do that. That's why we're here. But skimming the cream off the top, what is the cream off the top today for you? So let's just I don't know, Michelle, do you want some time while we go to somebody else for you to just write down all the things that you can remember?
Well, I can do all that.
I've got it.
Yeah,
done.
I've got it in Trello. I've got it, I've got it on paper. I've got it everywhere. So like I said earlier, I need to remember to pray, because that's when I get my real strength. But so maybe in the last 5 minutes or so that I have, I am stuck on, I'm not a real major perfectionist, but I am a high achiever. Okay. And I do like to do things right, even if it's not perfect, right? I am so stuck on how to make these email opt-ins. It's not the sequence. I mean, that's a pain, and I can figure that out. But how to do them when all I'm offering them is a book. Or if the first chapter of a book, or here, now let me give you some pictures just to stay relevant. I can do it the way all the other authors that I see do it, but that's not story branded. That's very author focused and not consumer focused.
right?
And so
Okay.
I'm really stuck on those.
So it's the the nurturing sequence. That's
Yeah.
what you are.
Yeah. And then I have absolutely nothing to give them afterwards.
So
After the
no,
nurturing sequence.
I'm going to disagree. So I'm going to come back and say, yes, you do, because you have podcast episodes, you have follow me on social media, you have, share this little thing here with me. I mean, you
Diane.
have things to offer. You absolutely do. You've done podcast episodes with other people, right? You've interviewed.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to put those in the nurturing sequence.
Yeah, but isn't that what we're talking about? Is the nurturing sequence?
Yeah, and then what I was saying is I have nothing on an ongoing newsletter yet to offer them, but that will come with the podcast.
You will. I'm going to be honest. I have not sent anything out to my newsletter people for probably 2 months. It's okay. They just sit there and patiently wait for us. It's so nice of them. Like, they're just like, okay, you just do what you can. But when you get things calmed down, as soon as start moving forward with your podcast, you're gonna, hey, I have a podcast coming. Here's the cover. I cannot wait to tell you more about it. There it is right there. Something that you take in social media, you take and you say, did you catch this on my social media feed? Go here, and you link over to your Instagram or to your Facebook author page, and you say, click here to see this reel that I made, or we're going to just repurpose the heck out of things, make it small and repurpose it. And you're just going to keep leading them back. Did you see this interview? I put it on my YouTube channel, because anytime you do that, not only are you getting them the content, but you're getting them to a place where they can subscribe, where they can hit like, where they can share. And I think that's going to be really helpful to you. So when you hear that thought come, I have nothing to share with them, that is a lie. That's not true. Michelle, you have a lot to share. Your passion in and of itself is valuable. And the people that follow you, they want to hear even the little things that you think are not a big deal. They want to hear it. Thank you. Just go easy on yourself. Let's just say right now you plan on doing a once monthly newsletter. Put that your son just came home from a mission. That's not a big deal. You can totally do that. And then next month, hey, I'm creating a podcast. And then in September, maybe you can say, here's my podcast where you can find it. And then you can start adding more to it. But so what's the emotion coming from, Michelle?
I'm just overwhelmed and feeling ready to just sink in the water rather than walk on the waves. So
totally. And we'll just, if it's good, I know you're doing some traveling after your son comes home. If you need to put tier 1 things down, put it on a shelf and come back to it in 3 weeks. If that is mentally, it's the same thing that we did with the podcast with you, right? I'm giving you permission to put it down if it's causing more stress than doing good, because if you get paralyzed in your stress, then it's not going to happen either. It's not like that, putting that pressure on yourself works for you. And Michelle, that's how you are. And you and you really do need that permission to say, I'm putting this up on a shelf for right now, because actually the biggest thing on my mind is making sure that I have a home that is prepared for my son. I mean, my son comes home a week after you. I totally get it. I get it. So tier 1 will be there. It'll totally be there when you get back. There's hopefully some new ladies coming from the retreat. We'll all be working together still. It's not going anywhere. And just ask Heavenly Father to help you know what is the most needful thing and what is the cream off the top. And if the cream off the top doesn't have anything to do with tier 1, I will still love you. And I will still probably send in I'm going to still send you a little check-in and say, hey, I'm just checking in with you, Michelle. Is there anything you need this week? I'm still going to check in with you every week, regardless of whether or not you're working on tier 1, because that's just what I do. So.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. What do you have a goal or something that you want to set? What is your this week I'm going to, and it doesn't have to be detail related if that's not the most needful thing.
I have to get my book done. I know there's social media waiting, and I know that there's tier 1 waiting, and I know all of that stuff, but this book has been hanging over me since November, and I just have to get it done. So I think that's where I have to focus first.
And that's the audiobook. Is that what we're
Yeah.
talking about?
Mhm.
Okay. So audio recording. That will feel, if that's been hanging over since September, Michelle, that is going to feel really good to get that off.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does that look like this week? What does it look like for you to work on that this week?
Let's see, I've got 20 chapters to do. I'm going to do a third of them this week. Maybe more, hopefully more. Once I get into it, it always goes faster.
We're gonna set the bar lower because I don't want, because again, we're not going to be paralyzed. We're going to be like, okay, oh, this is easy. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do 5 chapters.
I'm going to do 1 chapter a day. I can do 1 chapter a day.
Oh, I love this. 1 chapter a day. Okay. And let's see where that goes. And maybe one day you'll do 2, but the minimal.
Can you hear me? Diane,
Yes, I can hear you, Lamira.
Okay, I was just gonna say, even easier to go on a more SMART goal is to say something like, I'm gonna work for 20 minutes this week. Does that make sense? And then maybe it's going to be 1 chapter, maybe it's gonna be 5. And then that way it's a time base instead of an amount base, because you don't know what's gonna happen, right? You might have a coughing fit in the middle of recording something. And so give yourself that, I'm gonna work on this for 20 minutes every day from this time to this time. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah,
if
that
helps,
makes sense.
Or
Does that help?
But then
Does that help?
that way you're not like saying, okay, I didn't get 5 chapters done, I failed. It's more of, I worked on it this week, and every little drop is going to count. And when you look back, like, oh, I did it, even if it didn't look exactly like I thought it would.
Okay,
so
great. That's
helps.
wise. That's wise. Yes, thank you. So I'm going to work on a half hour each day, because it'll take me about a half hour to edit 1 chapter roughly. And if I do more, then I do more. And if not, and if it takes longer, that's great. So I'll work a half hour a day on editing this audiobook.
I love it. Thank you, Michelle.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Hey, thanks for your support, guys. I know I can do this. I'm just at that spot that I just needed a little pushback.
You know what? Yeah. And we all feel that. So I appreciate you like being real and opening up about that. Thank you. Hey, Jess, let's head over to you. All right. Any learning, notes to self, words of wisdom you want to share with us? And you are on mute still, in case you didn't know that. If you touch your picture, see if it comes up on the bottom. It usually will pop up on the bottom. Touch. She might be muted forever. Oh, we got it. Okay.
I was trying to throw weird backgrounds and stuff, and I was like, no, I don't care. It's just my weird office. Like, let me talk to my ladies.
Okay.
Hello, lovely souls.
Hello, Jess.
It's been a hot minute. I think that I don't really have any words of wisdom right now. I just felt this massive shift this morning. Oh, you guys. Oh my God, you guys. For the last few weeks, I have felt this urgency that something big was coming in a really good way, and but felt very out of alignment in where I needed to be going, and what it all entailed, and what I needed to be doing, and how would I possibly, I'm feeling off, but then why, and all these things. Anyways, I finally realized what it was. And so last night I broke up with my boyfriend, and it's kicking my trash. And but this morning it was one of those like affirming moments, because I got up and I was like, okay, God, what's up? And it felt really good. So I have not done hardly anything with UTLC for the last few months. Life feels very busy. And stressful, but in like a good way. Like, I love being supervisor. I love, the responsibility is intense and thick, while also I know this is exactly what I need to be doing right now. Kids are crazy, but I love them, and so like I know that I'm exactly where I need to be, and so I just need to be figuring out how that fits into what I'm constantly and repeatedly being called to do. That has not changed at all with my break. And my mom and I are writing a book. It is called God-Given Grit from Connie. She doesn't know that. I'll message her when I get a minute. But it's based on all this. And so my mom and I are jumping, and my mom has literally like pulled like my dad has come up for massive surgery twice to have some total joints done. So then they'll live with us for me for a couple of weeks, and have surgery. And my mom, she just like, hey Jess, give me your juice, give me all the things. And I would so I've given her just all of my content and all of my research and all of my stories and all the posts and all the Facebook and all the stuff. And so we've compiled this book, and I'm literally trying to print off the manuscript right now for the latest, so I can like read back through it again. And so we are working really hard to have it completely available and ready in time for October, for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so we're kind of in this huge crunch where we have to have it completely done and ready to send to the editor. I'm like, my mom's like basically the editor, but sending it to the editor and publishing and stuff within the next like 5 weeks. And so there's just massive crunch of, so I don't know if that is my huge urgency of like, Jess, I need you here, and I need you to find the time and get refocused, because so there's a ton while also have still not sat down and focused on my one big message, or focused on like the Connie aspects of things. It just feels very like kind of like Michelle, like it's very overwhelming. Like there's always 10 million things going on, plus 10 million, 10 million more. But no, it's all about priorities and all about the SMART goals and all the things. And so it's, so I'm making all these notes, and okay, Jess, like, here we go again, like get back in your mode, in your Jess mode. And so it's there's a lot of emotions and a lot of things going on today. But I'm excited to kind of wake up and be like, okay, God, I'm right here. What do you think?
First of all, I am so sorry about the boyfriend. I'm really sorry about that, Jess. That's heartbreaking. So I'll be keeping you in my thoughts and prayers. It's so tough. My next thought is we need to get that one big message done before that book comes out, because you've got to have your message and aligning all as aligned as we can get in that next 5 weeks, so that when that book comes out, you're going to know how to message it. You're going to have your social media ready. You're going to have your newsletter, so you can gather emails from this opportunity to be able to help them and continue to give these women encouragement and progress, and help them to know that you are there for them. So I would like to see if we can help you. Now, when you joined, we have redone some things. We have shifted things around in the tier 1 to make it a little bit easier to go through. We have more templates. It's easier to move along. So I would like to, I know that you and I need to schedule a call this week so that we can kind of chat and start getting that process going. But what do you like? Does that make you feel like you want to have a panic attack or punch me if I tell you in the next 5 weeks I want to see if we can get this messaging done? Or where does that put you?
No, it feels more doable today than it did yesterday. Like I feel like this is a big shift, and which is was absolutely crazy. It's crazy, um but yeah, so I do really good with, and so literally, Diane, I was planning on being like, okay, like, oh, I've got 5 seconds. I like literally shut my door and tell everyone I'm on a Zoom. They totally think I'm doing like business stuff. I'm doing business stuff, just not this kind of business stuff. But I um I have like on here been like, get down with the Zoom and then schedule Diane. So I'm really hoping you're available Wednesday because it's my day off. So
Okay,
really
I'll see
hoping
what,
that-
you know what, message me. I don't know if I have anything on my calendar available, but I'll send you a time. We'll connect on Wednesday.
Right.
So, okay. So August is domestic violence month. Is that what?
October is.
Okay, September?
No, October.
Oh, October.
Mhm.
Okay, we have a little bit of time to make sure everything is in place. So for this week, if we can get that call scheduled between you and I and just get that process moving, and we are going to see how quickly we can get everything in place, because this is an opportunity for you to be able to not just serve one time with your book, but to serve several times over and over again. What Michelle has done for her opt-in is the first chapter of the book is free, and then they can go and purchase the book if they want more. We can do things with this. This is going to be, we're going to help you be able to move through this. Is all of this sounding okay then? This week is the deep dive call, and then we're going to take steps forward from that. How are you feeling about that? Does that feel okay?
Yeah, it feels totally fine.
Okay.
Like I said, like today is a different day, and it feels kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah. So on my to-do list, once I get done playing boss and can literally clock out, and like then put mom hat on, right, and the side business hat on. I want to go through and like Lamar and I have talked about this a lot, but like scheduling a specific time of just like, when are you going to do this? Because for those of you who know me, my life can feel absolutely psychotic. And so if I don't schedule it, like, it will not happen. And that's kind of, like stepping away for a couple of months, it was like the perfect timing. And I was so grateful to be able to step away for a minute. And then it has still felt absolutely nuts for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And so, like I know that like my personality, I do really good with like hard deadlines, instead of like, okay, when you get this, I need to be like, by Tuesday, this will be done. Do you understand?
Okay. Yep.
And so
Yep.
I do really good at that. And so I think I kind of need a
Awesome.
little bit of like some
So
tough
I will
love.
push you on those hard deadlines if that's all right with you.
I need some deadlines.
Okay. All right. So that works great. So I will help you, and we'll get those deadlines in place. We've got, like Michelle just said, I don't know if you're able to look at the chat when you get a second, but Michelle's like, she's got tons of ideas. We're going to be able to, like, we have people that have carved this path to make it easier for you to make it through. But I'm going to keep pushing you and keep you moving forward, because we want those pieces in place. These are women who need you, Jess. They need you, and this is going to be the month to do it. So we're going to be good. Okay. Super. All right. Jerusha, let's hit you next. Thank you, Jess. Okay, Jerusha, moment of learning this week. Note to self.
Note to self. I am better when I get sleep. So I've been, for some reason, been having more trouble lately with the hot flashes at night, and I'm going to see somebody tomorrow that is hopefully going to supplement the acupuncture that I'm doing to help with that. So it's just been an interesting week. But I also have done my opt-in in Canva, and I can just put it in WhatsApp if that's easier or whatever, but I could use some feedback on that.
Oh, would you please put it in WhatsApp? I would just love it if you would do that, and we can give you some feedback in that. This group is so good at giving good, positive, helpful feedback. So if you'll drop it up in there, what comes after your opt-in then? Are you gonna like set up email nurturing sequence? Do you have a landing page yet? Tell me what do you have with your pieces?
Well, that's the thing is I need to get with Elmira and finalize my website. And so I'm going to have a landing page as part of that. And then I actually need to start marketing because I want to do pre-sales for my book.
Okay.
So it's technically still with it's with Rochelle Christensen Hepworth's daughter still. She's editing and formatting, but I can still do pre-sales without
Absolutely.
having that done. So
Absolutely. And we want to make sure, again, just like Jess, we want to make sure your landing page, your email sequencing, your nurture, all of that is in place. So when you do the pre-sale, you're giving them that little bit and that little piece as you go through. So fantastic. So I heard you say need to meet with Lamira to go through the website. You'll put your opt-in in Canva so we can get you some feedback for that. What is there anything I can help you with? Anything you need from me? I know last week we had an appointment scheduled during the retreat. So I was like, I'm sorry, Jerusha.
no, it's totally fine.
What
Just
can I
feedback on the opt-in right now.
back on the opt-in
I
right
think is
now?
the biggest
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead and pop that in there. We'll help you out with that. Super. Okay. Angie.
Sorry,
You're
my
good.
husband's
You're good.
talking the same time as I am. We're heading home from our vacation.
You're good.
Okay. So what am I doing? Wins and
So
notes to
you're telling
self?
me any learning, any note to self from this last
Okay. So I had a woman reach out to me. I don't know her really well at all. I met her at one of our archery shoots. She's probably just even a little bit younger than me. But anyway, she messaged me while on vacation the day that I like just took for myself to work on my detail stuff. And she had gotten the live-in tar beat out of her 2 weeks ago from her husband and had fallen away from the church. I don't know if she's ever really been active, but she said, the last 2 nights, I haven't stopped thinking of your face and I've hit rock bottom and I need help. And it made me think, note to self, get your crap together, because how are you going to help somebody when you don't even have anything together, right? So that was kind of my note to self. For that whole day, I worked on a lot of my content. I'm still like lost. Like I'm still, yes, I can post all these quotes and blah, 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 but how am I truly going to help someone get from where I was to where I am now? And going back to think about that of how I did it. I mean, most of it was, really just like I say, my broke down car when I talk about that with you guys, of like my engine, my body, blah, blah. But it started with, I was so foggy because I've gone through so much trauma. I needed to relearn about the gospel again. And so, but that for me is kind of hard because I'm like, is that what she needs? Like, is that what well, he's bringing her to me. So that's obviously maybe that's what she needs. Like, I think I don't know what to do. I'm kind of nervous and scared. And I'm looking at, like I said, at this content of going, okay, the content that I just made doesn't have anything to do with that, except for it's about, letting go of your past and that you can change. Maybe it's a starting point.
No, I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
a great starting point. I think that's a great starting point. I'm curious, Angie, is your next big thing, are you wanting to create a course?
I think I want to do a master class because I'm not a life coach, right? Like I have experiences that can help people, right? But I'm not a therapist. So if I can do a master class with like you, I'm thinking of her, right? So I got Jess is the first person I thought of who's been through domestic violence. Then I have you, and then Chelsea Hayden, because this woman looks like totally different than any member of the church. And she's not going to feel comfortable just coming back and sitting in the bench, right? And I didn't either. And Wendy Christensen, and so I think I want to do, like, when I look at her and I think of the type of people that I am attracting because they see where I came from and where I am now. I think I'm going to do a master class because I don't have all the skill sets to be able to help these people, but I can connect them with people that can.
Okay, so the way I've seen your brain work before, and I don't know so tell me what a master class looks like, because I've seen you do events. So I know that you can pull people together into an event. Are you thinking more of like a
I'm thinking
4-hour
online.
event?
I'm thinking
Okay,
something
it's online.
that's online, right?
Okay.
And I don't know. I need to research more on masterclass. But I think, I can have different people speak about different topics of a starting point, because it's everyone's journey is different. Hers is going to be different than mine. Like, I was so foggy that the woman that helped me, like, I literally just prayed in my closet. I don't want to do this alone anymore. And God sent people my way to help me. And maybe that's what I am to her right now. I don't know. Right. But I started with just very, very small, because that's all I could handle. But others may start in a different spot. So if I can have like the youth to help them change their perspective and help them work through some of their thoughts that are all conglomerated together. Wendy with forgiveness, like, have different like little 15-minute, I don't know, type classes online, or people can kind of merge into one. I don't know. I don't even know. That's where I'm at.
Interesting ideas. Yeah, I've got to let that bounce around for a second in my head and kind of just see. So I don't know if masterclass is what the format is that you're looking for. I think maybe an online summit kind of a thing. That sounds to me like more of like an online summit, whether it be a 1-day, 3-day, something like
I just
that.
want it to be more personal, right? Because I don't know how to do it. Like, I don't
So
want
you're
50
wanting it to
people or
be,
20 people.
would it be a paid event? They pay $27 or something. They come in, and for an hour and 90 minutes, we're just going to go like one after another, kind of like an online mini speaking thing. Like, I'm just trying to get the vision here.
Maybe. And I don't know. I don't really even know.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of lost in my content. Like, what am I doing?
So
Like, how am I helping people? And my gift is connections, connecting them with people who really can, right? I can answer questions and I can help and be a support along the way, but like, I don't know what I'm doing.
okay. So this is a couple thoughts I have. The first one is, make sure that this woman who reached out to you, is she your ideal client avatar? Do you remember going through that at the retreat?
Oh no, she is.
She is. Okay. So she's your avatar. You even have a name now for her, which is great. That will be really powerful. And so I think having that name, that write everything down that you can about her. And then now, you're going to be creating a way to help her get from where she is now to where she wants to be. And what's the fastest way to help her be able to get there? What would she need? And if there's there's always, of course, lots of people that would be able to do. I would even almost recommend scheduling, because Connie's really good at thinking like some of these outside the box things. I'd almost recommend scheduling an appointment with Connie and get her business side, where she has done and participated in so many different things, and see what her thoughts are about doing something that's a masterclass versus, because I agree that an online summit is not super personable. I would say that I would agree with that. So creating an online masterclass or something that is personable, like it's personal, that is, I don't know what that looks like, but she might have some ideas. Does anyone have any ideas of what that would look like? Making it personal, so you get so you get to know each other.
Right.
It would have to be a really
like,
well managed meeting.
Right. Because for me, there's no way I would have hopped on anything. No way. I was too scared. I didn't think I could. Like,
what about a weekly support group?
Okay. I like that.
Because then you invite the different guests to come, the guest presenters or whatever, to come and do their little thing every week, Angie, and then you can record it and make it available for things.
I like that better. Because like I said, I don't know, Jess, we're probably in the same boat. Like, I think you're so beat down, you think you're worthless, that you think everyone would be staring at me, like looking at me funny. Like, it's gotta be more personal. And honestly, I'm gonna refer her to other people that can help. But I know I can help her. I look at what I did, but what I did was the gospel, right? Like, I had to learn to read the scriptures. I didn't even know what they said, but I just read every day, just in the hopes that something would come in my face. I prayed.
Yeah.
I
like what
repented,
Taylor
all that.
I like what Taylor said. You can also repurpose this into a podcast, which I know that you're looking to do when you get, some of these other things finished up. So if you would not have attended an online class or a group coaching class, because that would have been too intimidating, and you would have just sat there with your camera off, even if you did attend and not participate, then that's not the right format for you. You got to find a format that's going to work better.
So then it's one-on-one, but am I getting myself into something that's kind of scary? Like, I totally want to help her, but she's going to need other help than besides me too, right?
Mhm.
Like, I can tell her what I did, and I can go through and I'll read scriptures with her, and I'll help her in any way, shape, or form that I can. But still, what am I doing?
Mhm.
Right?
What are
I mean,
you
that's
leading?
what
And what are you leading her to? What's your final thing you're leading her to?
right.
Are you leading her to a supportive community? Do you want to, you will be able to create a membership community with your lady boss, with your funnel breezy, and you could have
Right.
a community, a membership community where they
Which
pay
I think that would be, I think I like that.
X amount of money each month. Then you could have recordings, or
money.
you could have people come and you're recording it. You have those posted, people can look through it. You are able to guide them through that spiritual journey. So don't discount what you can do. And then you know how to bring those other people in to get the help.
Okay. No, that actually, I like that. That sounds better. Like a membership community. I like that. And my website is, we start on that tomorrow. So
Okay.
I'm moving forward.
Okay.
Just in a confused, but I am.
It's okay that it takes time. Like most of us would love a map for Heavenly Father just to tell us what to do. And he lets us figure it out, dang it. Okay. All right, Angie. So your next step is to get that website done this week, right? I'm guessing get that website done this week, and just if you're that ADHD brain, let those thoughts bounce around and write them down. When you have thoughts, I could do it like this. Maybe my membership could look like this. I could pull in these people. Just write them down. All of those thoughts are so good when you are, and some of them are going to be great. Some of them are going to be like, yeah, that was a crappy thought, but let it just get them all down so that you can start looking at all of those thoughts that come in, because some of them are going to be the right match. You just don't know which ones yet.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. Taylor, what can we do for you today?
All right, my little girl is just having a meltdown in the background because she doesn't have enough butterflies on her shirt today. So
that is so sad.
That is why. But so I'm just still working on my landing page. And then I was up at the retreat, like I had this thought of, originally I wanted to bring more people to Christ too, and I don't think currently what I'm doing is has enough Jesus in it, and so I need to rethink what I'm doing that way. And so I don't know if that involves just doing more of what Sarah does, a worship Wednesday type of thing on my Instagram, or I don't know.
I like that. I love that idea. I really do, because if you think about, you're talking to this group of people who have these challenges with their spouses, or or whatever it is, to add more of that Christ, that element to it, to strengthen them and help them to get it through. I just think you look for quotes that talk about strengthening and enduring, and that God's aware of you and he sees you. And I just love that. I think what that will do is that will take your content. Your content is really good. So I'm not saying your content's not great, but I think when you add that more Jesus to it, you're going to up level it a little bit.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of how I felt too. I was like, it's been missing that piece. And I was like, oh yeah, when I came in my original one, like that was a huge chunk. And I've kind of cut that out and I need to add it back in. And so
You know what? I just think Satan is really good at distracting us from that, because I'll do that. I'll put up a whole bunch of posts and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, none of it has Jesus in it. Like, what am I doing? Right? Like you just get going. And then, so I think it just distracts us. And I love that you're aware that that's something that's missing. I love that was a thought that came to you while you were serving and just being there at the retreat, exhausted with 1,000 steps every half hour up and down those stinking stairs.
there were so many and my booty hurts so bad.
Oh, your poor little booty. I'm so sorry. Maybe it needs more butterflies too.
Right. It's a workout every day.
Okay, so what do you want to do this week? What's your step moving forward this week?
I just need to sit down and really like work on my landing page and get that knocked out. I know it won't take long because I'm so close to having it done, but it's just not energy rich for me. So it's not a huge, like I have to make myself do it. And so I just need to just do it.
Yeah, so let's come up with a time and a day. So you want to work on it 10 minutes a day for 5 days. You want to do 15 minutes a day for 3 days. You want to do 1 hour tonight. I don't know. Like, tell me specifically what you can do and when you're going to do it. And just tell yourself you're just getting it done. Every time you do it means you're not going to have to do it again. I know technology makes me cry too, Taylor. So I am with you. It's not energy rich for me either. So tell me when when and how long you think you could get yourself to sit down. Minimum amount.
Once I sit down, I'm good. So I'll probably work on it like an hour at a time. So probably like 1 hour Thursday and 1 hour Saturday in the evening.
Okay, I'm writing this down. So I'm gonna ask you if you got your hour in on Thursday and your hour in on Saturday evening.
Sounds good.
Okay, Thursday morning or evening or afternoon or when?
No, I have to do it in the evenings with my kids. So
Okay, 1 hour Saturday in the evening. Okay, and so you're gonna work on that. You'll have that's good 2 hours that will be hit out. So if that changes and you can't do them that evening, then let me know that when you're changing it too. But
okay, sounds good.
that's your accountability moment. So okay, Taylor, you're doing a good job. And I love the mindset. I love that mindset. So keep moving forward. Ask Heavenly Father to help you and he'll help you with it. So
perfect.
okay. All right. Super. You're welcome, Taylor. Ingrid. And I don't know if you're available, Ingrid, because there you are.
I'm kind of available.
Ingrid.
Hi, sorry, I jumped on late.
You're
just
good.
was, doing the mom thing.
So what we're doing is there a moment of learning from this last week, something that's like a note to self that you want to remember moving forward? And what is your goal this week?
My note to self is I started doing like my weekly planning and scheduling my to-dos and stuff in a new way, and it was super effective. So I'm hoping I can just increase my productivity and get it done a little bit better than I have in the past. So I'm trying that out this week too. And what I'm working on is still trying to get my domain moved over to Funnel Breezy. It just is running into all kinds of technical difficulties. So Tasha is working with my brother-in-law, who was the original owner of the domain. They're trying to unravel how to get it moved over. So we're working on that.
Okay. So
with me sending emails to both of them going, this is what they need. This is what he needs. This is what you need, and I'm CCing them both. So we're all on it together, but
yeah,
I feel like a middle person and I don't know anything.
You're like, I have no idea.
But they do, and they're kind of trying to figure it out. So it's me just having to keep being like, okay, what's the next step? Okay, what's the next step? So anyway,
Okay,
we're working on it.
super. What do you specifically want to work on this week? What is your goal?
My goal this week is to keep getting this technical problem unraveled, and then to also spend, I could probably commit to 2 hours total this week of working on my actual handbook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that look like 2 hours in one day? Does it look like 2 1-hour days? Does it look like 3 45
It looks
days?
like 4 30-minute sessions. Or by the end of the week, if those have not happened, I commit to taking my butt up to the BYU library and doing a 2-hour session before
Okay.
Thursday, because my daughter's birthday is Friday and I want to spend the day with her. So
Okay,
by Thursday, it'll be maybe be Thursday
Bye.
night late.
it's all right.
That library is open till midnight, as far as I know. So
And then
I'm
do
good
they
friends
still
with that
play like,
library.
do they still play cheesy music about 15 minutes before they?
Yes, that was one of my favorite things. In fact, it would motivate me to stay
Because you
late
wanted to listen to the music?
and late because I could get that like jolty, energetic, like time to go home. You win. You stay till closing. I would stay late on purpose just to hear that.
Just so you can hear that. Oh,
Yep.
back
So
in the good old days.
In fact, that right there is enough of a dangling carrot to make me think that would be a fun idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So-
That's like, maybe consider. You
Yeah.
could do
So
that 4 times. You could go at 11:30, 4 nights this week.
no chance I'm staying up till 11:30.
Because we're old and we don't do that anymore. You ladies are doing so much good. I really appreciate you being willing to keep moving forward, set those tiny goals, get them going so that you can bless the lives of the women who need you. And we don't have to stress out. We don't have to like do more than run faster than we have strength, but just give the Lord something to work with. Give him that little bit and piece, that little widow's mite this week, and it will be worth it. So thank you for showing up, you guys. You guys are doing fantastic, and we'll just one day at a time. So, all right, love you. Reach out to me if you need to. I'll be sending you each a message today just to touch base. If there's anything else that you need, just reply and let me know how I can help you. So we'll be in touch. We'll see you this next week. All right, bye.